This is the whip for today. The gay electric car.
Let's go. So right now, Logan brought me to a charging station and has trapped me for 5 full hours.
I did the same thing with Jay Waller too. The electric boat.
Charge the electric boat. So now we can talk more on the podcast. Bring more value to you guys.
Oh, I want to talk about traveling with you, right?
Yeah.
So where have you been to? What's your favorite places?
Favorite places? One of my favorite places was like Turkey, because I'd say my ancestors actually were from Turkey, right? Like they actually lived in places like Armenia. Turkey was beautiful. It's actually similar to LA, but more European vibe. I actually really liked Mykonos. I know it is a party like island. I was in like the Mykonos, monk mode Mykonos place. Greece is beautiful.
What about in the States? What do you think about the States? What's your favorite part?
Favorite part? I would say Miami.
Yeah, bro.
I would say Miami is honestly like the best because like of taxes and everything. I'd say Los Angeles second.
No, yeah, 100%. I definitely agree. Miami is definitely the move for sure. And yeah, every single time I went to Miami, bro, I always made more money.
It all depends on someone's goals, right? So,
True.
So say for example, someone wants to make a shit ton of money, get so much like progress in terms of their finances, or maybe get a job or something. I'd say go into like a city and start like figuring things out. If you really want to like do like the health focus, maybe you want to go away from the city and start creating content outside. The main thing is that you can create a really good environment anywhere. It really depends how you kind of frame that environment and who you're living with. If you can maintain that accountability by yourself or through the online world, that's still also a great thing. All right, good places in the US. So far, I'd just say Miami's the best, because here are things that I like. I like good weather. I like being able to be healthy as fuck. I like really good coffee, and they have really fucking good coffee. I like good food, good healthy food. They have that. Good, decent quality air. They're right beside an ocean. There is degeneracy, which I don't tap into, and you can avoid it. And I'd say there's a lot of sunlight. Sunlight is extremely important to maintain your mood.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Miami and Florida is the humidity.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's just moist as fuck. Here it's a lot more drier weather.
Yeah.
In California. I mean, once you get closer to the ocean, it's a little bit more humid, but not as bad as Miami. But still, it's not that big of a deal. Like, but overall, for what I want to do, I mean, even Coach Corey Wayne, you know, my mentor, he lives in Fort Lauderdale. Like, yeah. It's just one of the nicest places for sure. And I've lived in California my whole life, so every single time I go to Miami, I'm like, bro, this is like a better version of California, literally. Yeah. It reminds me of like how LA used to be. LA used to be cool as fuck back in like 2015, but now it's like dog shit. After BLM, dog shit. Yeah, it's so bad, bro.
Yeah, but I think also like Miami is right beside Cuba. Like if you have a yacht, you're like fucking living GTA. Like Miami is the new GTA, because literally you're like a 2-hour flight away from Colombia. You're a few hour flight away from like everywhere. You can go on your boat and go to like islands, which is crazy. Epstein Island.
Yeah, that shit is crazy as fuck. Like, yeah. Some people don't even know about Epstein's Island, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
And people think that the elites and politicians are your friend. Like, bro, most of those motherfuckers were on that island.
I didn't understand that shit. Like, my dad basically said, like, you get access to the Epstein Island because it's like a perk of being in the elites or some shit. I don't even understand, like, why these crazy elites do this stuff.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a lot of demonic shit, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, if you notice,
demonic.
Like a lot of the rappers and artists, bro, they start fucking talking about some weird shit once they get into the group. You know, once they blow up, whatever it may be, they sell their souls. Like you see it all the time.
Like Doja Cat.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to rap, bro. I listen to rap, but I also like throwbacks too. Throwbacks are bangers.
Okay.
White girl throwbacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that I realized after like traveling so much, the places that the elites hang out, the kind of music that they listen to is all majoritively house. House music, just like vibes kind of music. I can show you some music later. I went to like Jimmy's in Monaco, Scorpios in Mykonos, Cayenne places in Thailand, as well as Turkey. Like they all listen to house music, and maybe it's because house music is like a no programming kind of music. And this is what I actually tell my guys in my group. If you really want to do like a monk mode, just listen to like a full set list, and that set list is just going to be like no words, only vibes kind of music, and it gets you into like flow. Or like brown noise. I listen to brown noise a lot.
What the fuck's that?
It's like
white noise, but
yeah, it's
brown.
like this.
Interesting.
It's like because that really puts you in flow. Like if you really want to get a lot of work done, it isolates you from everything. You're super creative.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta try it for sure.
Try doing it for like an hour. I'll tell you, like with our fishy brains that we have, it's actually hard. But if you do it, you'll be super productive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something I gotta do for sure. Cause yeah, you're right. Music does program you.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's another thing, wavelengths. So rap music. I used to listen to a lot of rap, but you know the creators of these songs, they actually set the frequency of the music to make you slower, to make you more of a consumer. Even though this sounds a bit far, they actually create the music at a specific frequency that makes you more susceptible to consuming and susceptible to listen and be like manipulated in general. And that's why like I love house, because it's like just vibes and no programming, right? Like even though like I might listen to rap and they might say like fuck these people, or like I'm gonna take these drugs, right? And you might not believe in it, but it sounds cool. It still goes down into your subconscious mind, which is something that does program you in some sense.
It makes it okay.
Yeah.
Like you start to think it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you my playlist.
Okay, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. No, for sure. I agree, bro. The music definitely does brainwash you. What you watch does brainwash you. You know, that's why, like, when you're growing up watching a bunch of Disney movies and a bunch of that bullshit, it's like, it doesn't set you up for success.
Now
at
it's
all.
crazy. Like now the Disney movies are like really crazy. It's like none of them are successful right now. None of them are making money.
Too woke, bro.
Yeah, extremely woke.
Way too fucking
Like
woke.
I'm actually curious, what do like children now watch? Like what do they watch?
Probably another bunch of woke shit as well, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if the parents don't really care. I mean, because most parents are focused on money. So
Yeah.
they leave the kids on a fucking tablet. Like, if you look around, bro, most of these kids are sitting on tablets and phones. It's fucking crazy, bro. Like, kids who are 3, 4 years old have a fucking iPhone. And they're just watching shit.
Yeah.
Getting brainwashed. Because the parents are too lazy.
Yeah, they're lazy, yeah.
Lazy ass fucking parents.
Yeah.
Same with the food, bro. Like, you see fat kids, I'm like, bruh, that's like child abuse, bro. How does a kid get fucking fat? You have to be feeding that motherfucker like the worst shit possible. Or whenever it's crying, you just give it food or some shit. It's like, bruh.
Like I actually saw one like church friend, quote unquote. Their like child had like blood clots at the age of like 7. And it's because they're eating pizza every day. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with these people? Like, feed them good food and throw your kids outside. Get them to run around and like go in the nature and like go in the dirt. But because the parents are too like lazy and like they're too afraid of like putting them in danger, they just don't put them outside.
Well, that's why you can't have a woman running the household, bro. Like, if you notice, most of these kids that are fucked up, it's a woman running the household. Every single time. The father figure is out of the picture. Or the father figure is a weak beta male simp.
Yeah.
And then the mom runs the household, and she either is like over dominating, which puts fear into the children, or she's over caring, which limits the children from any riskiness or anything that's going to help them grow.
Yeah.
You know? And so they're either like sheltered, basically, and then they end up a fucking complete nerd.
Yeah.
So it's like, think about like how guys are supposed to be around in the pictures. Like, bro, like, it's supposed to be a balance, bro, because like, every single time a kid's fucked up, it's weak father or absent father.
Yeah.
And even the stats show, bro, is like, if the father's not in the picture, the kids are more likely to be fucking trans, more likely to go to jail, more likely to be a stripper. It just keeps getting worse every single fucking time.
Yeah.
So fathers are important, bro, and people don't put an emphasis on that. And that's why it's like, I make sure I put an emphasis on that, because it's important, bro. And this is just the stats. And people might not like it, or people might get butthurt about it. But it's just like, that's what's needed, bro. Like, you need strong father figures.
And so if you're going to create children, how about you like make the children good?
Yeah.
Why don't you just not just like pump and dump? It's like you're like a crypto rug, right? You're pumping and dumping, and then you're letting the kids be like shitty kids.
Just having a kid is not just your legacy. If the kid becomes a drug dealer, or not a drug dealer, but just a drug addict, that's still your legacy, bro.
Yeah.
It's a negative legacy now. Now it's like that kid makes you look bad.
Yeah.
People don't understand is like, you can have a girl, right? And it's like, oh, I have a girlfriend now, but now she makes you look retarded. Now she makes you look like a cuck because you're talking to other chicks.
Bad.
If she's bad, right? So people don't understand is like, just because you have a kid doesn't mean you're carrying on a legacy.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, that legacy is not going to last very long.
Yeah.
And it's also going to fuck up your image. And it's like, same with girls. They're like, oh, I have a girl now. It's like, you really? Like, I'd rather be with no girl than have some fucked up hoe who's like out here being retarded, making me look bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, but people want these things so bad that they're willing to sacrifice or settle for less. Because, oh, now I have a girlfriend. It's like, but your girlfriend is fucking everyone's girlfriend. So the fuck you doing, bro? But people don't understand that. People don't understand that. It's like, bro, it's really just better to have quality over just having it in general, or just don't have it at all. You know, it's like, if you can't find it, why settle for less? You know, if you can't be a good person or a good role model or be in the picture, then don't do it in the first place.
So how do you get quality?
For girls?
Yeah.
In order to be quality, you have to be a quality person yourself. You also have to have standards too. Because you'll notice, like, most people who attract low quality people, you know, they don't have standards for themselves. They're probably also a low quality person. Yeah. You know, same thing is, like, you're probably also a liar if you're accepting girls who lie. You're probably also a person who has no integrity if you're accepting people into your life who have no integrity.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you have to be that person to attract those people, because like attracts like. Yeah. And I'm not saying you have to be feminine to attract feminine women. Obviously, you have to be masculine to attract feminine women, but it's just like attracting those quality of people with those values, right? And you'll start to place yourself in those environments and areas where you resonate with, right? And you'll notice, like, people who are degenerates, they all happen to be in LA, right? Same thing all degenerates, they happen to be in the clubs in Miami, right? So it's the same thing as like attracts like. They'll find each other, and I'll tell you right now, you'll never find a good quality chick at a club or a party. Yeah. You will never, or on social media. Yeah. Ever, bro. Then you will find a good quality chick on none of those things, in the middle of nowhere, right? In those countries like you're talking about, where they're not brainwashed. It's like, that's where you're gonna find good quality chicks. Yeah. But even if you find those good quality chicks, you still have to be a good quality person, or else she's not gonna find you attractive, and she's not gonna like you.
Because their standards are high. Yeah. Right? When it's a good quality girl, she's then looking for the high standard guy, right? So the question is, are you going to spend all of your time looking for a good quality girl while forgetting about yourself? Then you get that good quality girl, and then she like looks at you and she's like, no, why the fuck would I have this man? This man is like nothing that I would like be with in terms of like as a husband. Right? So what you've got to do is just like work on yourself. Obvious statement, but work on yourself to be a person that is worthy of being being with another quality person. The main coefficient is like, all right, turn yourself into quality. Once you are quality, go and be in the places that quality people go, right? Like, how many guys go to the club because they actually enjoy dancing and like jumping around? Like, not many guys.
No, they go to clubs for the girls.
Yeah, they go to the clubs for the girls, but the retarded thing is that all the girls there are the shittiest girls.
Every single fucking time, bro.
That is funny as fuck. Like, yep. What a like fucked up mentality when like all the shittiest girls of the society, they go to the clubs. The guys that are like, maybe they might even be good guys. They might be good people with good intentions. They go to those clubs, and then they find trash girls that fuck their life up. So yeah, don't go to like clubs, because the chicks probably have been ran through, and yeah, they're like degenerate chicks. So where would you go? Where are places you would go?
I would say you find good quality girls in like private communities, friends of family, you know, things like that. Church, at grocery stores or some libraries, not at fucking clubs, bro.
Daytime.
Yeah, not where they're trying to obviously seek attention and validation. Yeah. Girls who seek attention and validation are always going to be hoes, either on IG, dating apps, social media, club, whatever it may be. Those girls seek attention and validation, and your attention and validation will never be enough for them. They will always be out here trying to look for more dudes. So that's where it's like, you just need to find a girl who doesn't seek those things. You know, it's like, even if I do find a girl in church, some of these church girls are still hoes. So it's like, you still got to pre-qualify, bro. Just because you found her in that area doesn't mean she's safe and she's pure. You know, you still gotta do your research. Diligence. Yeah, bro. It's like it's like shopping for a car, bro. You gotta look at the Carfax, the Hofax.
Right. You have to look at the specifications. Make sure it's good.
Yeah, the mileage.
Yeah, and these are things that I normally ask. Is like, okay, what's your relationship with your parents, right? Especially your father. And if they have a bad relationship with their father, I normally just like not even continue the conversation. I just say, all right, great, good speaking to you, goodbye. Like, peace. Bye, peace. It's just about me being selective. Like, all right, if you're going to have one girl in your life that's going to be the mother of your children.
Or even possible.
Yeah, why not be like selective about it? But most people, or most men, live within scarcity of girls. If there are 4 billion women on the earth, and you're so fixated on girls, you're going to fuck up. Like, anyways, you have to realize that there is abundance. Like, just like with guys that are afraid of money, or they're like having a hard time with money, I tell them, go in a city right now and look at all of the billions of dollars that you can see in real estate around you, right? Don't you think that there is abundance of money around you? Same thing with women. How about you focus on things that actually matter to attract a quality girl versus just trying to reach out to like the lowest quality prospect possible? Because that's what you're doing if you're going to the club. You're attracting the lowest quality prospect possible that's been ran through.
And here's the other thing is, when you settle for girls that you deep down you know that you could do better, when you settle, you tell the universe that this is the best you can do, right? And the universe is going to keep giving you those chicks. God is going to keep handing you these same girls to see if you actually improve. Because you could say, I'm done with these hoes. But then if you keep going back to these hoes, the universe and God is going to keep sending you these same chicks to see if you learned your lesson. And this is how God does it with everything, bro. He's going to keep sending you the same people, different faces, just to see if you change and if your value system has changed and your belief system has changed. Because if it didn't, then you're going to accept it. And if it did change, then you're going to deny it and you're going to go seek more. And then that's when God and the universe rewards you and gives you more and better things.
Yeah.
So you have to negotiate for it, bro. You have to negotiate. I guarantee, like, every single time I walked away from a chick, even no matter how much I liked her, just because I knew I could do better, the universe is, dude, 1 week later, way better chick just spawns into my life every single time. More opportunities, bro. Yeah. But it's because I have an abundance mindset and I'm not afraid. Like, it's 4 billion people, bro. Like, come on. Like, it's, people don't look at it that way, though. Like, everyone like says there's plenty of fish in the sea, but they get caught up on one chick. And it's just because lack of options. And it's like, you can't do that, bro. You can't get caught up on just one chick.
There's no fucking lack of options. There's 4 billion fishies in the sea. Like, what is wrong with you guys?
Dude, it's, yeah.
It's all about, like, how you look at it. If you look at that one girl as the last girl that you'll ever have in your life, then yeah, you're going to mess it all up. If you look at it like there's abundance of it, and yes, I'm looking for quality, yeah, it's important.
When you were working for the Tates, what was definitely like your biggest learning experience from the Tates besides, doing the actual work itself, like being around them? What did you learn most? For guys that are so muscular, right? Muscular, so well spoken. They've got such a strong network to have all the girls that they've ever wanted in life. And so the also their body language and everything of that sort. For them to have worked on all those elements and them not to be making tons and tons of money would be retarded. I would say one of my main things is like the learning about the marketing experience and like being mentally resilient. Mental resilience is actually a really big thing, like emotional intelligence. Making sure that when there are millions and billions of people yelling at you about something, that you are able to stay strong within your belief systems and you're able to like not cowered out. Because like when I was around the Tates, their bank accounts were being shut down. Like there were so many like issues happening, and if I was in their situation, bro, I don't know if I would even be able to go through that, because I was like a 19-year-old 20-year-old guy. Insane amounts of respect for the guys to be able to be so mentally resilient through those periods of high stress, extremely high stress, where literally like news companies, media companies were trying to shut him down, and like still making sure that they're still up, going through fucking jail, going through all these issues, and still being the king at the top is absolute respect. And so that's something big that I've learned from them. But also going back to the other point, it's like, if you are so strong, if you're so wealthy, not wealthy, but like if you've got all the boxes ticked, right? Everything except for money. To not have money eventually is a retarded thing. Well dressed, well everything, well spoken. To not be making at least 6 figures a month would be like fucked up. And then what was the biggest thing you learned from like working with Sartorial?
Basically, Sartorial, he cares a lot about his presentation, right? He's someone that is very, very well respected. And so back in the day, I used to think that not caring about my presentation was something that was quote unquote cool. And I realized that it's like, who am I trying to impress? Am I trying to impress the wealthy men, or am I trying to impress the old broke guys that were in my brain? Me trying to impress those broke ass guys. Who am I trying to gravitate towards? And that is guys like Sartorial. And sartorial attracts the people that are attracted to that high frequency, high vibration, good presentation. When I broke that limiting belief, then I started caring a lot about my presentation, me cutting my hair, me doing all these things, because back in the day I was like a really big hustler. Like I would work 16 hours per day, hustle, but I would forget about everything else. Like I would go to restaurants and I would look like dog shit. And then when I met sartorial, I like looked at my wardrobe and like how I'm actually presenting myself around other people, and I'm like, is this the image that I'm trying to show in front of these other guys? Probably not. Like I would hang around fucking multi-millionaire guys, me like wearing a wifey beater shirt, and like I didn't realize how fucked up that was.
Yeah.
Like sartorial really is the guy that really started that realization. So yeah.
Who did you work with the most?
Tate.
Obviously, you've worked very close with Luke, right? How was it working with him?
Luke's a boss. He's like he's really a robot in my eyes. He's a really hard worker, really like kind of like the systems behind everything. He doesn't like being spoken about online that much, but he is a really hard worker. So with every company, you'll find like a really badass hard worker behind all of the systems and everything. If you're building a really big company, you need to have the right staff, right? It wasn't just Tate. It was like all the people behind him supporting him throughout that journey, and that one of the guys was Luke. So when you're building a company, you need to have those loyal, supportive people. Like for example, if the credit card processors went down and his bank account shut down, and he wasn't able to pay his staff for 2 months, right? Would his staff leave him, right? Or would they be loyal? Yeah, they would. But there might be some situations with your guys' companies that they wouldn't, right? They care only about the money.
What was your like biggest breakthrough in terms of sales, right? Because you're a killer when it comes to sales.
I think that for sales, when I started putting more hours into the game, that's when I started making much more. As I did the reps, that's when I learned more about sales. And so maybe a breakthrough, I'd say, while doing sales is that you might kind of like, say for example, 1 year into sales, you might think that you know everything about the world. You might think that you know everything about sales with being in sales for like 1 year, but no, you actually don't. If you're a good salesman, you're a person that is able to admit that you might be wrong in some senses, and also not have a strong ego. You do need to have an ego in some sense, but you need to be someone that implements the growth mindset. And so sometimes I would help people in terms of sales, and it would actually not be the right advice. And so I would take advice from other people, and I would need to like put my head down and say, yeah, actually you are right. The shitty salesman would be like, no, you're wrong. I'm not going to listen to you because I have all this experience. But the good salesman would be like, okay, wait, you might have a point here. Let me listen to you. So yeah, that's what I'd say is one important thing, because I was in sales for a while. You might build some kind of ego. You really want to avoid that ego when you're deep into it.
You would say sales is like definitely one of the best skills to learn, right?
Yep. Because it's the essence of speaking. I'm speaking to the people right now, and in some sense I'm able to correlate a message and transfer that into some kind of relationship we can build, or whatever it is. Sales is everything because communication is everything. How can I send a message across? Send a message across by speaking. And what a more powerful way of being able to communicate someone, to be able to then communicate that to them to a level where we can exchange value, and getting them over the barrier of having that hard time in exchanging that value. Value meaning like, you give me money, I give you this thing.
And so for most guys, they don't understand. When I say like, how do you provide value or give value to people, people don't understand what value is.
So you need to allow people to determine the value that they want out of you. For the online space specifically, most of the time people will tell you what they value the most out of your stuff. But I'll say this right now, if you're talking about value in a more in real life sense, value can be something super basic. Whereas, like, for example, I'm speaking very eloquently right now, or I'm dressing really well, or I'm paying for the bill, or I'm doing very small actions that make someone have a great experience around them. So how can I provide value to like a fucking billionaire or to a multimillionaire? There's not much I can tell him that he doesn't know, right? So how can I provide value to him in a way that that will actually impact him? And it's more about making his experience better throughout life, right? Having good conversations. Value in itself can also just be like, you tell him a great story that he really enjoys listening to, or you like speak about deep history that he's not able to speak to with anyone else. That is value, right? Dressing well around those kind of guys. Even introducing him to another person that is valuable, right? That is extremely important, right? Or maybe even introducing him to a girl or whatever it is.
Make him look good.
Yeah, exactly. Making the person look good, like elevating their view. But I'd say especially in the online space, it's extremely easy to find what people value, because what they value is what they will react to the most.
Yep.
So you just need to keep doing the things that they react to the most, that they gain more reactions to. And like your audience will tell you what they value the most. Yep. So guys that say like, oh, I'm just 12, I'm just 19, I don't have that much value. That is a complete limiting belief. I get fucking pissed off at guys saying that I'm not worthy to join this group yet because I'm not valuable enough. That is one of the biggest limiting beliefs that guys have when they say, oh, I don't want to join this group or whatever it is. It's like, dude, when will you ever start? You have to start somewhere. Like, this is a great example. When I used to sell the War Room, I would tell someone like, wait, so if you want to build a network, or if you want to build your muscles, do you like hang around the gym, or do you go into the gym to build that muscle? You go in the gym to build a muscle, right? So if you want to build a muscle of networking, you have to get into the gym to be able to build that specific muscle. So in the very beginning, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be more sore than ever. You're going to have a hard time. But the main thing is like building that actual muscle is by going into the gym. So committing yourself to that skill that you want to build.
Yep, that's the biggest thing for sure. And it's like, sometimes it's not even just having a skill yet. It's just like making people's lives easier, bro. That is the best way to do it. Saving people time, saving people effort, making them look good. Those are all emotionally compelling reasons why they want to be around you or invest into you. Or when you actually figure out what you want to do, that would be someone to go speak to and ask them questions about. Like, hey, is this a good idea? Would people be willing to invest? And if it's a good idea, they'll invest, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for sure, is knowing how to give.
Yeah.
All people know how to do is take. It's ridiculous. It's like, bro, you're not going to get unless you give. And your focus should not even be caring about getting. The universe will give you, right? As long as you're giving back.
Yeah.
Your main focus needs to be to give. Even if it's your last $1,000, make it easier for them. Rent the car, do something for them, get them in the hotel, pay for the dinner, bro. I don't care if it's your last money in your bank account, do it.
Yeah.
I don't even care if you're going negative, bro.
Yeah.
Do it. It's gonna come back. Stop being a pussy. It's just paper. It's just numbers on a screen. Don't be afraid to do that shit, bro.
And that's the thing about humans. They are wired to be selfish because we as Homo sapiens were kind of programmed to be selfish as a defense mechanism, right? Because back in the day, if we were not selfish, we might have been able to be like, we might have died if we weren't selfish to this one specific thing. Like, if you don't eat all the bananas, you might die. Or if you don't eat the whole tiger, you might not have enough reserves to like stay for the rest of your life. So we are in itself selfish. And so the main thing that you've got to do is break beyond those genetic tendencies and be selfless to the people around you. And that's a big thing, that like reason why a lot of guys are having a shitty time in their lives, is because now with our new economy of resourcefulness everywhere, where we don't need to be selfish, we don't need to be within the scarcity mindset, we don't need to focus on all the negative news, we need to focus on being selfless, and literally the opposite of what our DNA is telling us to do. It's hard, right? But you've got to always remind yourself through these kind of talks and everything, because if you want to become a multimillionaire, you need to have the mindset of a multimillionaire. You have to do what that multimillionaire version of you would be doing. and it's probably giving versus getting. And I'll say this, whenever I've donated money, I've always made more money after that. Just in general, like, you just donate money, that karma, like, leads in quantums. If you really want to kill it in life, just fucking throw away all your money.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I would say don't be like retarded with it. Don't go to the casino, but it's all about focusing your cash on things that improve your value.
So what are the first initial things that you invested in?
Well, when I started, I'd say I invested in things like, so these self-improvement guys, like similar to us now. If I was this 14-year-old guy watching this, I was the guy buying the course of the guy speaking on YouTube. I also invested in kind of like accountability coaches. I also invested in high-end gyms. That was a big thing. I spent more money than I ever made on like gyms that were like super high class. And so that's actually the way that I was able to get 2 retainer copywriting clients and then hit my first 10K month the month after, just because of like me being around the elites, me being around like really rich people. That's what led me to get these clients. But yeah, those were investments in the very beginning, and then it was investments in the mentorship, into speaking to higher quality people, being in networking circles, everything of that sort.
I mean, all of us probably had like some sort of limiting beliefs on money. Like, when did you get rid of your fear for asking about money? Because most people are like, whoa, 10K, 50K, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So at what age did you, or when did you realize that you stopped being afraid of asking for money?
Yeah, so maybe when I start being afraid of asking for money is when I had so many leads that were plowing through our funnel that like I just kept selling people, and then at the end of the month, like 20 G's went into my bank account, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like so many digits. What happened? And it just like my mindset on money just completely changed. It's like, bro, wait, so much cash just landed in my bank. Like, what happened? But I just like did more reps. And the crazy thing is that the people that I sold were actually like really happy that I sold them, because then I had people message me saying, thank you for joining these products, that I'm grateful for you helping me to get inside. Now my situation is better. So selling is not an unethical thing. It's a good thing, because you're basically just exchanging resources. If you're operating in the scarcity mindset, then you might think it's a bad thing.
Especially if you know the product is good and you believe in it. You'd never want to even sell a product that you don't believe in, because it's going to be harder to sell. If you don't believe in the product and you know it's dog shit, it's going to be very hard for you to sell.
Yeah.
Way harder for you to sell. So it's way easier when you already believe in it and you've already gone through the same thing. You've done it. I mean, you've even purchased it, right?
Yeah.
So like the biggest salespeople are the ones who drive the car. Whatever you own, whatever you're wearing, whatever you're driving, you're the biggest salesperson for that company.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're the one promoting it to everyone else.
Yeah. You need to lead with that conviction on your product.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by the amount of people that have products, but they're not convicted in their own products because they have a bad relationship with money, and they don't know, like they're really confused on like how much they should ask for, all this stuff. Like, fuck that bullshit. Just give them the best product possible and distribute that product to the most amount of people. Be so convicted in your product, and know that a lot of people are changing their lives from your product, and charge high, charge a lot. Because if you're changing someone's life, then that's worth a lot of money.
Deal. All right.
4 billion women, and you're telling me right now you can't even get one. So how about you just like fix that mentality up, right? Focus. Oh shit.
Oh, no. That's making a good clip.